Hi everybody, welcome to class day 30 with V. Today we're looking at core hybrids. So these are core exercises that also work other muscle groups as well. So when we're thinking about our core, everyone, we're thinking about our lower abdominals here, the muscles that go horizontally across the lower section of the belly, deep inside, okay? They're internal muscles, they're not external muscles. And when they contract, they draw everything in. So when we think about engaging our core, we think about drawing our navel to our spine and drawing up our pelvic floor. But also regarding the core muscles, we want to think about the muscles just above and also just below. So this is going to help strengthen this area. Nice, strong core, give us good posture, which is going to be good for our backs. And also it's going to be good for giving us a nice flat stomach as well. So let's get straight into it. I'm just going to turn the phone down so that we don't get any ringing in the middle of the class. There we go. All right, so let's just have a little bit of a warm up. Let's sort of soften the knees, bend the knees, root through the feet, keep the hips level and square. Let's just do a few rotations here. Now the rotations are coming from your rib cage. All right, we're not rotating the hips like this. We're isolating now the upper body from the lower body and just starting to warm up around the waist. Okay, so warming up around the waist, some little rotations there. Keep going on these. We'll do about 16 of these. 10 more. And then we're going to take some dips down to the sides. So again, warming up at the waist. So our core, when we're thinking about our core, we also want to think about our glutes, the back there. We want to think about our muscles in our back. And we've got to think about balance as well. Whenever we do any kind of balancing, we are engaging our core. So just take a moment to come onto tiptoes or balance on your left leg. Now your core muscles are working to hold you in that position. If they weren't working, you'd fall over. Let's balance on the other leg. Just notice when you're balancing, you're engaging the core naturally and strengthening around the joints. Okay, let's go back to these. Good, we'll do about 8 more of those. 4 more. Okay, let's take the hands above the head here, stretch up. Lengthen up through the front of your abdominals. Now bend your knees deeply, rest on your thighs for a moment. Now start to lift the sitting bones up as the chest moves down. If you can get the fingertips to the floor, all well and good, not to worry if you can't. And then we're going to step back into a downward facing dog, releasing the heels towards the floor. From our downward facing dog, let's move the body weight forwards and pull the belly up. So when we're in a plank position, we want the shoulders above the wrists. We want our inner elbows facing our thumbs. We want the shoulders pulling away from the ears, the navel drawing up. And think about the straight line from the tailbone to the crown of your head. The mistake often people make in the plank is dropping the head down or tilting it back. Try and keep the length in the back of the neck. Drop to the knees, point the toes away, pull the belly up again. Get that straight line again from the tailbone to the crown of your head. And then move your shoulders forwards and drop all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest, keeping the elbows bent, and in, pull up through the navel and push back again into that downward facing dog. Couple of breaths there in your down dog. You can bend the knees if you need to. You can have a little sway side to side. And then from here, we'll walk to the front. We'll come halfway up and then we'll drop down again. And then we'll come all the way up and bring the hands back down. Let's go again. So let's reach up as we breathe in. Let's exhale and fold. It's okay to bend your knees. We're going to inhale, come halfway up, and then we'll exhale into our downward facing dog. We'll inhale into our plank, and then we'll drop to our half plank, point the toes away, pull the belly up, shoulders forwards, elbows bend, drop to the floor. Inhale, send the heart forwards, pull up through the navel, exhale back into your down dog. Now we're going to step forwards, lengthen the spine, and then we'll fold. And then we'll come up. Let's do 1 more of those, okay? So let's reach up. Still warming up at the moment. Fold. Inhale, come halfway. Exhale into your down dog. Forwards into your plank. Drop to your knees. Point the toes away, pull the belly up. Shoulders forwards, elbows bend, drop down. Send the heart forwards. Roll back into the down dog. And then come forwards, halfway up. And then we'll fold. Let's come all the way up. And bring the hands to the heart. Let's take a reach over to the side, everyone. So nice stretch on the sides of your waist. Good. And then reach over to the other side, lifting the ribs up and out of the waist. Nice stretch there on the left side of the waist. And then take the arms out. Take the feet a little wide and hips. Bend your knees and lean forwards. So you're bracing yourself here. Okay. Now pull your navel up towards your spine. Tuck your tailbone under, really round through your back. And then lengthen the spine. Don't arch your back, just lengthen it. Okay, so pull your navel up, tuck your tailbone under, round. So we're stretching here in the lower back, and then lengthen. And get used to the feeling of pulling up through your navel. Pull up through the navel and round, and then lengthen. And again, pull up through the navel and round, and lengthen. Roll all the way up. And we've got one more before we start, one more kind of stretch out before we start the class. So let's have the feet about hip bone distance apart. Let's bend the knees, soft knees. We're going to do a nice slow roll down just to stretch the fascia in the back. So we're going to keep the chin to the chest. Let the shoulders dangle there. Chin to your chest. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale from the top of the spine, just slowly start to curl down. Let your arms dangle. See how far you get. Bend the knees as much as you like. If you get all the way to the floor, you can sway side to side. If you're not keen on getting all the way to the floor, rest on your thighs there. Let your spine completely release. Let the neck release. So we're stretching the whole of the back. And then to come back up, we start to stack from the tailbone, each vertebra on top of the one below. So the last thing to unfold will be your shoulders. And then your neck. Okay. All right. So let's get on with these hybrid core exercises. The first one, we're going to do the plank walkout. So what we do is we reach up to the sky. We keep the navel pulling to the spine. We bend the knees. Yeah. And then you're going to walk forwards into a plank position. Check the alignment. So don't look at your feet at that point. The plank, you're here, shoulders above wrist, pushing away from the floor, navel up, straight line from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then you're going to bend your knees, you're going to walk back, and then you're going to stand up tall, pulling the navel to the spine. All right? So we're going to spend a minute doing these plank walks. You can go as slow or as fast as you like. Maybe start slow, check your technique. Core, okay? All right, let's go. 1 minute, plank walks. So let's reach to the sky, bend the knees. Navel is pulling up towards the spine, strong upper body, strong quads. Walk back. So this is a hybrid exercise. We're working the core muscles, but also we're working the upper body muscles and we're working the quads and the glutes. Reach up. And also if you speed it up a little bit, it'll be a cardio exercise as well. All right. So there's your hybrid. Okay, keep going. Strong quads and back. Your quads are the muscles at the front of the thighs. So when you come into the plank, tuck your toes under and pull your kneecaps up and contract your quads. Glutes are working as well. Keep going. All right, we've got another 30 seconds on this one. Keep going, everybody. All right. I reckon we can probably get about 4 more in here. See if you can do 4 more. 4. 3 more if you can. Good. 2 more. And the final one. And there we are. Okay, well done. The next exercise we're going to do, and we'll do this for 45 seconds on each leg. All right, so for this one, It's called a Russian deadlift. Now, a Russian deadlift, again, is a balance. We need to keep the hips level and square. Imagine you've got dumbbells in your hands, and then you're going to hinge forward. So this is a Russian deadlift here, where you try and keep the back and the leg in a straight line. So we're not in this sort of position. We want that straight line. So it doesn't matter how far you tilt forward. Some of you will be able to tilt to here, and that'll be all good. Some of you might even just be able to tilt to there. The navel needs to pull back towards the spine. But what we're going to do on this one is we're going to come into this, and then we're going to do a little lift. And then we're going to try and come into it again with a little bit of a lift. All right? Okay, you don't have to put the lift in if you don't want to. 45 seconds on each side. So let's find our balance, engage our core. Again, start it off slow. So we've started now, and then you can do a little bit of a lift. Find your balance and a little bit of a lift. Keep the chin in and a little bit of a lift. If you need a bit of help, stand near the wall and put your hand on the wall, okay? Keep going. Deadlift. Working the core muscles, the lower back, but also we'll be strengthening around the ankle here, the knee, and we're working the glutes and the quads, especially if we do a lift up. All right, you can speed it up, and then you've got a cardio exercise as well. All right, 5 seconds left on that side. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go for the other side. All right, are you ready? All right, let's go. So it's forwards. Do whatever you like with your arms and maybe a bit of a lift. And then you could speed it up if you're in the mood. You can make it more cardio. All right. And remember, we're strengthening around the ankle, the knee. We've got to keep that straight line. All right. Make sure you don't do this. We need length here. Navel lifting up. Keep going. Halfway through. All right. Keep going. Halfway through. Good. 15 seconds on this side. Slow it down. If you're a bit wobbly, you can just stay here with it. Yeah, don't feel you have to do any jumping. 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Okay, the next one is we're going to do a split lunge. Dropping the back knee. So I'll show it to you from this angle. This front knee needs to point forwards. We don't want it dropping out or dropping in. So the knee and toe, knees and toes are tracked. My back foot, notice, is also pointing forwards. It's not behind that one. That's going to make me unstable. It needs to be out. The toes not pointing over that way with the heel down on the floor. The hip, knee and toe pointing forwards. So if I show it to you from this angle, that knee is bent. I'm on the ball of my foot, look. My front knee is above my ankle bone. My spine is vertical. It's not doing this. We need the spine vertical, navel pulling to the spine, tailbone down. So we're going to be stabilizing ourselves by engaging the core. The muscles in the legs are working. And then we're going to try and put ourselves off balance by taking the arms out. And then this arm's going to go up and down. Dumbbell in the hand if you can. 45 seconds on each side. So we're going to push 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it going. Drop it down a little bit more if you think you can. Keep moving, everybody. So what we're doing is we're working the quad here, the glutes, the core, the shoulder, the tricep, the muscles in the back. All right, keep going, and we're stretching the hip flexor here. So this is why it's a hybrid core exercise, because we've got more going on. The core is holding us in position. You know, when you sit in the machines in the gym, think of the machine as your core. The core is holding in position, and then you work the muscle. So we're keeping everything steady on still. Last 3, 2, 1. Change legs. Take it back. So check your alignment, particularly with these knees. You don't want your knees going one way and your feet going the other. You're going to twist the knee and the ligaments in the back of the knee. So make sure you're in position. Now you engage the core, and that holds you in position. If your core wasn't engaged, you'd be all over the place and you'd be dropping down. This is keeping you steady. All right. So take that arm out and then push up. Now remember, whenever you raise your arm, you don't want to raise your shoulder blade like this. The shoulder blade mustn't lift. Shoulder blade stays down. So it might mean you can't get the arm fully straight. If you had a dumbbell in your hand, you'd be using that dumbbell. Keep going. And push. Good, well done. Keep that back knee deeply bent. You can drop it down a little bit more if you want to work your lower body a little bit more. And the idea is that we're doing it on a single arm to put us off balance, which means that these muscles here have to work even harder to hold you in position. Good, well done. We're nearly there. We've got about another 5 seconds. Okay, keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax. So, on the theme of balancing, if you've got something you can use, like a dumbbell, it doesn't have to be a dumbbell, anything that's got some weight to it, just sort my mat out, otherwise I trip over. Anything that's got some weight to it will do. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and balance on one leg. Right, if your balance isn't great, just come onto your tiptoe. And then with that dumbbell, we're just going to draw a figure of 8 like this. And what's happening here is by moving your upper body around, obviously it's harder to balance, which means your core has to work even harder. All right, so we're going to do 30 seconds on each side. So balancing and then just drawing this figure of 8. Keep it going, trying to keep everything else nice and steady and still. So you can see that I'm wobbling around a little bit, which means that my muscles and ligaments are having to work extra hard. Keep going. Good. So you can take that off the floor if you want to there. Just depends on how your balance is. Keep going, everybody. Okay, let's change legs. Let's try the other side. So it's tiptoes, foot on top of that one, out to the side, whatever you like, as long as you're balancing. And then just start to go, drawing that figure of 8. And quite often you'll find that you're much better on one side than you are the other. And that's because often there's a little bit of imbalance in our bodies. We're often stronger on one side to the other. That's because we use our body, you know, like when we're driving, we use our feet in a different way. When we sit, we cross our legs. All right, keep going. Got about another 5 seconds on this one. This is my wobbly side. 3, 2, and 1. Good, well done. Okay. The next one is called cat bird. We come onto our hands and knees. And we take the opposite arm and leg out and create a nice straight line. And then we round up through the spine, contract our abdominals and bring the elbow and knee together. And then we elongate the spine again. We're not going into a back bend, all right? We're not going into a back bend. We're elongating the spine and then we're crunching up, all right? So we want to think about getting a nice straight line from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Remember, the crown of the head is the very top part of your head here. All right, and that crown of the head needs to point directly forward. So you'll be looking directly down at the floor without the head dropping. Okay, back of the head up, crown of the head forward, chin in. And then we're going to pull the navel up. Let's all do the same side, left arm, right leg. Now, don't sink into this shoulder, push away from the floor and lift up. Notice the difference. That's me sinking into my shoulder there. That's me lifting out of my shoulder. You must push away from the floor and lift out the shoulder. Triceps will engage here. Okay, so when you're ready, we go. Round up, squeeze your abs, pull the navel to the spine. Contract your abs, pull the navel up to your spine. Contract the abs, pull the navel up to the spine. Contract. Pull the navel up. 4 more on this side. 4. And again. 3. And again. 2. And the last one. And relax. Just sit back. Let the arms have a little bit of a rest. And then we'll do the other side. So let's come up. Body in a nice straight line. Navel lifting. Take the right arm and the left leg out. Now look at where my left foot is a moment, everyone, because what tends to happen here, I always see this, people take that leg way up too high and it makes you arch here in the lower back and you can't engage the core properly. The leg just needs to be off the floor. It doesn't have to be up high or anything. Just needs to be up off the floor. That's all. Navel lifts, right arm out and pull the navel up. And then we go. Crunch. 1. Push away from the floor through that left arm. Crunch. 2. And again. Crunch. 3. And again. Crunch. 4. crunch, 5, crunch, 6, crunch, 7, last one, and 8, and relax. Okay, so we're going to strengthen the lower back, and we're also going to twist. So what we're going to do is lie on our front for this one, and we need to press our hips into the mat because we don't want to pinch in our lower back, all right? And then the chin will be in, the hands will be here. So if you just watch a second, what we're going to do is lift the chest up, and then we're going to rotate to the side, and then we'll come back to the center, and then we'll drop down, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So when you rotate to the side, you're moving your ribs towards your hips here. Okay, so we're going to do this one for 45 seconds. You ready? Let's lift, rotate to the side, center, and down. Lift, rotate to the side, center, and down. Lift, rotate to the side, center, and down again. Lift, rotate, center. Now keep this going. Lift, rotate, center. Keep going while I check the time. We've got another 15 seconds on this one. Good. Another 10 seconds. Keep going, everybody. Lift, rotate, center. Last 4, 3, 2. You've done it. Good. Well done. Okay. Let's come over onto our side. So the next one we're going to do, we're going to be on our side here with the hip bones at this point pointing directly forwards, hip bones pointing forwards. And then we're going to come up, touch the toes, and then come back to the side again. So have this top arm in front. So you're using that hand to help you balance. And then when we come up, we've got to pull the navel to the spine. Don't worry if you can't touch the toes. You know, it helps you've got short legs, you know, but you can touch the shin, you can touch the knee. Just think about when we're touching the toes, what we're aiming for is that kind of boat position, okay? So we're coming from the side and then we're coming up, all right? So we're going to do this one for a minute on each side. Start it off slow. Okay, so hip bones facing forwards, navel to spine. When you're ready, push up onto your hand, reach for the toes and back to the forearm. Up onto the hand, reach the toes and back. And again, reach and back. This is such a good ab exercise, but you've got to make sure that you're pulling that navel to your spine, okay? You're pulling the navel to the spine. Good, keep going. And remember, each time you come back, you're turning fully to the side. So your hip bones will be facing forwards, the camera, and then facing up towards the sky. And again. Good, well done. We're nearly finished. Got about another 15 seconds to go on this side. Good. 10 seconds, then we'll swap it over. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, so let's move ourselves around. Let's do the other side. So again, come onto the side, come onto your forearm. So the hip bones are facing forwards. You ready? All right, do it slow. Come up, touch, and then back down. And again. But we've got to keep this navel constantly pulling towards the spine. Yeah, keep it going. Keep it going. And again. Good. Keep it moving. All right, we've got about 30 seconds. Twenty seconds. 15. Nearly there. Last 10. Last 5 coming up. 4, 3, 2, and you're done. Good, well done. All right. So next one. Let's come up into sitting. Now we want a little bit of a bend in the knees, just a small bend in the knees. So I'll show it to you from here. Just a small bend in the knees, navel to spine. We're going to roll back, cross the arms, and we're going to turn it to the side, come back to the center, and turn it to the other side, and back to the center. Okay? So we'll do this one for 30 seconds. You ready? Roll it back, navel to spine, cross, turn, and again. Turn. Now, when you turn, really work these obliques. Any twisting movements, work your obliques. Those are the muscles on the side of the waist. And then the reason you're not falling back onto the floor is because your lower abs, your core muscles are also engaged. All right? Good. We only got another 5 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. The next one we're going to do is a plank to row. So for the plank, all right, we come up onto the hands again. The body remains in a nice straight line. So when you take one leg out, that's where your hips are going to stay. They're not going to lift up. They are not going to lower. They stay exactly there. All right, so what often people do is they take that leg out and then they either do one of two things. They lift the hips up too high, all right, or they let the hips drop down. So make sure your shoulders are above your wrists. You've got to push away from the floor so the triceps engage. Otherwise, you're just sinking. You need to make sure you're not sinking. Push up, push away from the floor, belly up. Okay, and then what we're going to aim to do is we're going to hold our plank, and then without our hips turning like this or our body weight shifting, we're going to lift one arm and back, and then the other arm and back. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. One arm and back. Now, if it's too much to take the hand off the floor, come onto your fingertip and down, fingertip and down. You can do it here as well with the knees down in a half plank position. All right, keep going. We're going to do another 30 seconds. So again, this is a plank with a row. So the row is working your biceps, the muscles in your upper back. And then in the plank, we are obviously doing the core and the quads and the glutes and the muscles in the chest, because this is like you're doing a press up. Okay, keep going. We've got another 5 seconds on this. Last 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Let's turn over onto our backs. We've got one final exercise. It's a roll down and a roll up. So we pull our navel to our spine. We're going to roll all the way down to the floor, taking the arms over our head. We're going to pull our navel to our spine and roll all the way up, sitting nice and tall. Don't worry if your feet come up off the floor. If you can wedge your feet underneath the bed or something, that might help. 1 minute of this to finish off. So we pull the navel to the spine. We roll down, arms over. Navel to spine, roll up. And again, roll down. Arms over. Navel to spine, roll up. And again, roll down. Arms over. And roll up. Keep going, rolling down. Arms over. And rolling up. 30 seconds left, everybody. Keep going. So we're working the deep lower abdominal muscles. We're working the muscle that runs up through the center of the body, the hip flexors. Last 10. Last 5 coming up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's stretch out. Arms over your head. Point your toes away. Slide both feet up. Drop both knees over to the left. Take your arms to the right and turn your head to the right and relax into that nice twist. Let's bring the knees back up. Drop both knees over to the right. Take the arms and the head to the left and relax into the twist. A nice stretch across your abs. And then bring both knees in over the chest. Just do a few circles around there. Roll over onto your side. Come up into sitting. Bring the hands here. Give yourselves a little clap. Well done. Hope you enjoyed. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.